Good evening, high school football fans. This is High School Football America for February the 6th. I'm Jeff Fisher, host of the show and founder and editor-in-chief of High School Football America and highschoolfootballamerica.com. Congratulations to each and every student athlete that signed their letters of intent yesterday. National Signing Day, of course. Most of the news and all the publicity surrounds those kids that get those D1 scholarships, but as I said last week, and I say it throughout the year here on the show, a big round of applause and a congratulations go out to the student athletes that are below that level, all the way down to Division III and NAIA, and of course there's a lot of kids that will be making those decisions about where they're going to college and continue their football career at that lower level coming up here over the next couple of months. So we salute all of you. We wish you nothing but the best of success at the college level. Remember, you are students first. Even though you are student athletes, you are students first, and we want to salute all of the parents, the family members, and the coaches that make that journey that all culminated in a big way yesterday possible for these student athletes. So congratulations. And because yesterday was such a big day, we thought we'd take some time on this show tonight to talk about some lightly recruited guys that did big things at the collegiate level and even getting up to the professional level. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But before we get to tonight's guest and the storylines on tonight's show, let's welcome in all of the partners that make it possible here at High School Football America, beginning with Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger, reminding all of you dads out there to share what you love with who you love. As you know, we're always brought to you by the Debris Inhibitor Razor. Players, if you're tired of those pesky rubber crumbs from field pellet getting in your shoes during the games, and it doesn't just have to be on the football field, soccer, lacrosse, all of that, the Debris Inhibitor Razor takes care of that, keeps it out of your shoes. The Razor is spelled R-A-Z-U-R. You can learn more at tdirazor.com. Get a 40% discount by entering the code HSFBARZR1. Lightweight, durable, seamless. You're going to hear about them throughout the show here. But the Debris Inhibitor Razor is just a great American-made product that gives you that look of spatting without the cost of tape, and again, keeps those rubber crumbs out of your shoes. And we know moms complain that they're all over the house, so the Debris Inhibitor Razor keeps those pellets out of the house as well. Also want to remind you, we're brought to you tonight by the Maxwell Football Club. Join today at maxwellfootballclub.org. Annual Gala in Atlantic City coming up on March the 16th. You can get your tickets at maxwellfootballclub.org. And brought to you tonight by Webleats, webleats.com, changing the face of sports recruiting. If you're an athlete out there, doesn't matter what level, they have a free student-athlete profile for you. Learn more by going to webleats.com. Well, as I mentioned at the top, yesterday was a big day. National Signing Day, letters of intent signed all over the country, not just for football players, but, the guys at the top, they always get all that publicity. There are so many recruiting sites out there, the 24/7 Sports, the Rivals.com, the Scouts.com, and what ticks me off sometime is the fact that these guys don't get it right. Let's just put it that way. And I understand there are some guys that just stand out as 5 stars and 4 stars. But never can account, though, for what's going to happen once they get to the college level, because I've never seen a recruiting service be able to measure heart. All the coaches out there that I've talked to through the years say, yep, that intangible is something that can make or break a career. And with that in mind, we're going to have 2 great guys on the show tonight to talk about overcoming the odds. The first guest on the show, his name is Chris Salvi. Now, if you're a big Notre Dame University football fan, you may remember Chris and his brother Will, both walking on at Notre Dame. They both played in the national championship game against Alabama a couple of years ago. But Chris Salvi was literally, and you'll hear this in the interview, a 0-star recruit. Undersized, didn't have any of the things that people look for, but they didn't know in his heart what they had. And after a brief stop at Butler University, he decided he was going to transfer to Notre Dame University and try and walk on. A real-life Rudy story, and Chris, through the course of time at Notre Dame, became one of the all-time great special teams players at 5'10", 180 pounds. And he'll tell that story to you in the journey. And it was such a great journey for him that by the end, in his senior year, He actually was given a scholarship by Coach Brian Kelly, which then led to a tryout with the Chicago Bears right after he graduated. But now he's a professional football player in Italy. And we're going to have Chris Salvi come in here and talk to you about what it takes to overcome the odds. If you're a kid out there, you're a 0-star, a 1-star, a 2-star, it doesn't matter. It matters with the amount of stars that you see up there in the sky when you start dreaming. So Chris Salvi coming up here in just a little bit to talk about that journey. And then we're going to bring in a young man who is getting ready to start his second head coaching job. At the age of 26 years old, he started in Northern California last year at St. Patrick St. Vincent at the age of 25. His name is Brennan Marion, and he has a great story to tell. Not really recruited out of high school in Western Pennsylvania at Greensburg-Salem High School, fought his way onto some junior college teams, and lo and behold, by the time it was all said and done, he in 2007, when he got to Tulsa, with 4.3 speed, set an NCAA record for yards per catch. At that time, he was projected to be a late-round draft pick in the NFL draft, but he blew out his knee, tore his ACL, and then had to fight his way into camps with the Miami Dolphins, ended up playing in the CFL. But now he's on to coaching. And he's got a great message to tell because he is trying to tell, or I should say he's trying to keep his promise to his grandmother, who said you need to make something out of yourself. And the Brennan Marion story is an incredible story. Drugs, violence, homeless at one point while he was in college. But Brennan Marion is now the new head coach at Waynesboro High School in central Pennsylvania. And he's going to tell the story about all the great people he met along the way that helped him achieve his dream of becoming a high school football head coach, and just a fine human being who's out there trying to teach other young men the right way to do things and the way that you can succeed by just working very hard. So great show tonight. Again, congratulations to all those D1 athletes, but tune into this show because you're going to hear a couple of guys talk about the fact that recruiting star means absolutely nothing. It's what's in your heart, and we're going to have those stories when we come back. Chris Salvi, the young man who walked on at Notre Dame, a real-life Rudy story that went beyond just playing a couple of plays. This kid became a special teams special player, and he's now playing professional football in Italy. The Chris Salvi story and the Brennan Marion story when we come back. You're listening to High School Football America, and this is the Artist First Radio Network. Time now to talk about the Debris Inhibitor Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, here on High School Football America. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing fields out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and also out of locker rooms. It's favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made of 70% nylon and 30% spandex material, making it extra lightweight and very durable. Plus, it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping the shoelaces tight. It is fully customizable, machine washable, and most important, easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is available in black, white, and pink. Other colors may be special ordered, and sizes are there from the youth level all the way up to that Bigfoot. You know, the shoe size 14 to 17. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC player Carl Hoppy Langley III and 3 partners, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, a patented design, and proven innovation. To learn more, go to tdirazor.com. Remember, the razor is spelled R-A-Z-U-R, and look for a special code at High School Football America so you can get a discount on your order of the Debris Inhibitor Razor. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger reminding all you dads out there, whenever you're sitting down with the kids and sharing your passion for sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, it doesn't matter. Whenever you share your love of sports, make sure you sit down with the kids and do it over a bowl of Frosted Flakes. Which, passion's a good word that we're going to explore here with our first guest. His name is Chris Salvi, and Chris has led an incredible life that has taken him from being a high school football player in Lake Forest, Illinois, to Butler University, where he got the crazy idea he could walk on at Notre Dame, where he becomes a celebrity of sorts as a special teams player, to the point where he gets a scholarship in his senior year, and then he gets a tryout with the Chicago Bears. And coming up here in just a couple of days, he's going to leave for Italy, so we're taping him before he heads over to Italy to play in the Italian Football League, which is so cool. Welcome to the show, Chris. This is going to be fun to talk about what's been a neat time for you and your family.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I'm looking forward to talking about my story.
It's an incredible one, and I'm not really quite sure where to start with all of this. And like I said, earlier, it's kind of like CNBC. You have to disclose the stocks you own and all that. Well, we've known your family, specifically my partner here at High School Football America, Trish Hoffman, has known your dad Pat and Lindy and your mom Lindy for a long time. And when I heard what you were doing, it was awesome, and it's kind of grown, and now we can kind of share the story with the world. You've been in the New York Times. It's neat. So let's kind of go back to the day and start at you went to Carmel High School, right, in Lake Forest. You weren't a 5-star, you weren't a 4-star, a 3-star. You end up going to Butler. So tell us about how you evolved from that kid that nobody really kind of looked at from a Rivals or a Scout.com to Butler, then to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I was a 0-star, and I made my way to Butler University, and you know what? It started with me doing well academically there, because I couldn't get into Notre Dame out of high school, so I did well academically at Butler. I saw my opportunity to attend Notre Dame, and obviously the passion for football was not going to go away. So I know if I got in, I would try to walk on to the team. And after talking to player personnel, people from the football team, and obviously getting into the school, I was able to do a tryout, and I made the team.
At what point does it kind of sink into you that what you're trying is something that's real hard? Obviously, nowadays there's what's called a preferred walk-on, but you weren't in that category. You were just a guy that said, hey, I want to try and do this. So at what point did it really sink into you that, you know what, maybe this dream that you had could come true?
I honestly believe the harder part was getting into the school itself to get onto the team, because I always had great confidence in myself to play football. You know, maybe other people didn't think I was that great because my stature, or they put all those stars on you and they time your 40 and all that stuff. But I always believed I was very good. So once I got into the school, I believed in myself to make the team, but then not only make the team, but go beyond that to contribute.
And one of the neat parts of the story is your dad, who's a very prominent lawyer in Chicago, went to Notre Dame. So tell us what that's like then, when you finally get the good enough grades to become a Fighting Irish.
Yeah, that's right. I grew up going to the games, so I idolized these players, and I love the atmosphere, and I love the tradition of Notre Dame. And I always wanted to be a part of it. So just being a part of it was great. But there's always been something inside of you that wants to be known amongst the fan base of Notre Dame, and to be respected amongst your teammates and your coaches. And that was always a part of the goal when I got onto the team.
And what were your words to Dad, and what was his response when found out that his son was going to be playing on a program that he likes a whole lot, for sure?
Yeah, he was excited. He was. We were talking on the phone, and we knew the challenges ahead of me, and he was always such a great supporter of me, and he was always my biggest fan. So I think he was more excited than I was. to hear the news.
Yeah, and you talked about your stature, so let's find out what are you listed as right now, and what were you when you went to walk on? What was that? I know you're a behemoth.
Yeah. When I walked on, well, they listed me at 5'11", 190, which I was not. I was probably I'm 5'10", and I'm 180 pounds, maybe sometimes a little over 180. But I used my what the coaches would say, the intangibles. They like to praise about my intangibles. I guess those were good enough to get my way onto the field.
Well, crazy enough to play special teams is one of those. You got to be a
That's
little
right.
half baked to do that one. Let's and we have so many kids that listen to this show that they just idolize, hoping they could get a star somewhere and all that. And you've proven that you don't need to do that. So to the other 5'10", 180-pound kids out there that Rivals and Scout and 24/7 aren't looking at, what type of advice would you give to a kid that's playing high school football right now, has a dream, but knows that it takes more than a dream to get there?
Yeah, if some recruiters or coaches don't give you a star, or they don't think you're that good, it doesn't matter. What matters is within, and if you work towards it every single day. For me, 5 years down the road, that worked out. I didn't need to be great now. I needed to be great a few years from now, because that's when I played. That's when I got onto the field at a big-time program, and eventually at the stage of the national championship. Although that game didn't go so well, I played on the biggest stage in college football, and no one can take that away from me. So my advice to these people who think or who hear from other people that they're not big enough, they're not fast enough, don't think what you are now. Think what you can become in a few years, because a lot can change. You can get a little bit stronger, you can get a little bit faster, all the little things that make you a great football player, which isn't always, how much you can bench press, how fast you run your 40, but the other parts of the game, like film study and really knowing your opponent, which I believe I took advantage of. So those small things that get you onto the field.
Talking with Chris Salvi tonight on High School Football America. I was going to say rags to riches. That's not the case. But in many ways, in football terminology, it was, as he goes from being a zero-star recruit, as you just said, to walk on at Notre Dame, to try out with the Bears, and now getting ready to wing his way over to Torino, Italy, to play for the Jaguars, and they're called something else over there that I can't pronounce. And Chris and I were joking about that.
Neither can I, Jeff. So.
well, I got to ask the question: How much Italian do you speak?
You know what? I speak very, very little. I bought one of those Rosetta Stone things, so I've been working on it a little bit. But the players are really nice people. I've been talking to them. The coaches are really nice people. So I have a feeling it's going to be a great experience.
It'll be interesting, and we'll have to have you on again once you kind of go through this. So you're going over there. The season starts in March. It's the Italian Football League. You're at the top level of that. So how did that all come about? I know you had the tryout with the Bears after graduation. How did this all kind of come together, where you're now what is it, IFL, I guess, instead of NFL, the Italian Football League?
That's right. Yeah, the Italian Football League. I went to the Bears camp. I went as what they call a tryout guy, and unfortunately, I didn't get a free agent contract after the rookie mini camp. So I was thinking, what do I do now? So something I'd looked at even before I went to the Bears camp was football over in Europe, because I've heard of some people doing it. And there's actually a website that it's a platform for coaches over there to connect with American players that want to go over to Europe and play. So you kind of write up a profile or resume and reach out to teams, and they reach out to you, and eventually you find the right fit, and that's what I was able to do.
Oh, that's pretty wild, and a world away. So the big question, Chris, is what do you know anything about the game? Is it different in Italy than it is here, or is football football?
Football is football. It's actually NCAA rules, so I'm used to that. It's American football as we know it. It's more football than Canadian football, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Same field and all that other stuff. And and you were telling me only a maximum of 2 foreign players. Do you know the fellow Americans the fellow American that's going to be over there with you?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He played at the University of Oregon. He's actually a European vet. It's going to be his, I believe, 4th or 5th season over there, and 3rd in Italy. So I got a good teammate in him. So I'm looking forward to getting to know him and winning some games with him.
A free safety is going to be your position over there. So let's talk about size and all that. I would assume probably a little bit different in size compared to NCAA and NFL, but give us a little kind of clue on what it's like. I mean, do we have 300-pound linemen over there or not?
No, I wouldn't say they're 300-pound linemen. They're not small guys by any means. They're as big as, Division III college players, if not bigger, because these are all grown men. They're most of them are 26, 27 years old, so a little older in college, college players. But, they didn't grow up playing football like we do, so their level of just football knowledge and skill set is lower than ours, but they're by no means small. I'm still going to be on the smaller end of the size chart, but even in the IFL.
Still overcoming the odds. We're talking with Chris Salvi tonight on High School Football America. Just a wonderful story, a 0-star recruit, and I'm not making fun of him. He already used that earlier if you're just tuning in.
I take pride in the 0-star.
Yeah, I like that. He moved all the way to a walk-on at Notre Dame in his final season, and we'll talk about that a little bit. He got a scholarship, which saved Dad a little bit of dough, and now going to play professional football in Italy. Anything can happen. Now, we talked about the players and all that. I heard you say about the website that's for players and coaches. So what about the coaching style over there? Are there American coaches over there, or how does that all kind of come together where the game gets learned in Italy, just like the NCAA, as you just said? It's kind of using those rules.
Yeah. Some of the teams have American coaches. Some don't. In my instance, we do not have any American coaches, although I must say they're very passionate about football, and as much as any coach I've been around. They love talking football. They love learning about it. They want to hear the stories that me and my other American teammate have from playing over here, because we're the mecca of American football, obviously, and they're into it as much as the next person here is. So.
That's neat. Playing for the Torino Jaguars is who Chris Salvi will be playing for in the Italian Football League. And I would think out of all college, Oregon's great, your fellow American, that's great. But Italy, the Catholics, the Notre Dame, you've got to be kind of, no pun, no disrespect to God, you got to be like a second type of God over there.
Yeah, they are. They're big Notre Dame fans. That's their college team. So the American football fans in Italy, their college team is Notre Dame. So I'm lucky. All my teammates are telling me how cool it is that I play at Notre Dame, and they've been so nice about it. It's really awesome.
I see you getting an audience with the Pope or something if things continue to go with you.
I shouldn't I?
Well, we'll see. I'll work on that for you. You gotta learn Spanish too, in addition to Italian, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're talking with Chris Salvi tonight, having a good time. This is what High School Football America is about, folks. A guy that comes out of nowhere to do special things and following his dream. Let's hop back to Notre Dame just for a little bit, because as you said, you're still a small guy over there, so you're going to have to overcome the odds once again. When was the first time somebody called you Rudy? Because I had to believe that was something that was thrown at you pretty early on at Notre Dame.
Yeah, you hear the Rudy thing a lot when you walk on at Notre Dame, but you don't. It's whatever. The walk-ons, all of us are focused on trying to play. It's not about Rudy, or it's about doing your best with what you're given, and trying to get onto the field and make the team the best possible team it can be.
And let's face it, I can say this, I know you won't, but you did a hell of a lot more than Rudy did.
Yeah.
You got more than one play as that special teams player, and there's another cool thing we're going to talk about your brother going there with you. But let's go to year number 5. You've had all this progress. You've developed, like you said, you knew you would in your mind. comes to your final season, and all of a sudden Coach Kelly comes up to you and gives you something pretty special called a scholarship. Take us back to that moment and tell us what that meant to you and your family.
The scholarship was great. I didn't need it to validate my hard work or even getting onto the field, but it's something, it's recognition from the coaches, so it's always great to receive. But I'll tell you this, Jeff, my favorite award, I guess, would be my captaincy the year before for the Navy game, and I'd always say, when people ask me what's my favorite moment, I say that because more people have scholarships than people who get to be captain. So I'd say that's my greatest moment. Although the scholarship is very, very awesome. It was the captaincy that really made me proudest.
Well, yeah, well said. And then I mentioned earlier, your brother goes there, actually walks on too, so it's Rudy 1 and Rudy 2, so to speak. Right. You guys are written up in the New York Times before the national championship game 2 years ago against Alabama. Tell me about that. What'd you tell little brother Will about walking on and trying to walk in your I don't know what size shoes you wear, but whatever size shoes you're walking in your shoes?
Yeah, I was. I remember he approached me. It's like I want to join the team. I'm like, great. So I helped him, with the workouts, and helped him with making a plan to really get him in shape and ready to play some Division I football. And he worked really hard at it, and he was really focused. And he actually was on the depth chart of special teams. While he was playing, he was well respected, and it was so much fun to be able to see him every day. Being able to see your brother every single day at football and go to classes with him, and we live together. What a great moment! What a great few years of my life, and I'm very lucky.
No, yeah, it's the handful. Maybe you're the only handful, the Salvi family there that could get to say they did that. We're talking with Chris Salvi tonight on High School Football America. We're taping this before he jets his way over to Italy to make lots of lira. I guess that's the money over there, right? Lira. Did I do my homework on that?
The euro.
Oh, the euro. It's euro. Okay.
Use the euro now.
Oh, okay. Well, I shows how old I am. I'm not on top of things. But anyway, Chris is going to play for the Torino Jaguars, the Italian Football League that begins in March. He's going over there for training camp and all that. So, I'd like to do things that are just away from the X's and O's. So, what's life going to be like? Do you have an apartment over there? Do you live with other players? I'm assuming you like pizza and pasta.
Yeah, well, everyone loves pizza and pasta, and I'll have plenty of that. Our setup is, it's actually quite the gig. They give us an apartment, a car, a cell phone, food, and some money every month. It's quite the gig, and I get to live with the other Americans, so it's going to be great. It's fairly easy.
So can I be nosy and ask? I'm assuming you're not getting Peyton Manning money, but and you're getting a lot of perks there. Can you equate it to, or don't you want to disclose? You can just tell us what the average player makes over there. Let's do it that way. We don't have to disclose your contract.
Oh no, I don't mind talking about it. It's the reality of what European football is for Americans. It depends. It's kind of hard to calculate because you get the apartment and all this stuff. So I have very little expenses, and then on top of it, you get paid about $1,100 American dollars a month, and then there's incentives for playoffs and advancing in the playoffs and championship.
Wow, that's got to be so cool. So let's wrap up here by taking us ahead. I know Mom and Dad always ventured to watch you guys play, and you specifically because you got there before Will. Do they have their first trip planned to Italy to watch you play in the Italian Football League?
Yeah, I actually got to give my parents a lot of love for this. They missed one game my entire Notre Dame football career, and it's because of a wedding, and so they're such great support for me. But yes, they do. My dad actually has 2 trips planned to Italy, and even my brothers are coming. So everyone gets to enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah, you got a big family. You have 4 other brothers, right?
4 other brothers, 5 brothers total, and I attribute that to I guess my intangibles. My coaches gave me credit for.
I was going to say, beating up on your brothers to get through life is probably helps you get through that stuff. So let's kind of end up with the last question. Certainly playing on the biggest stage in America, the national championship game, and doing that for Notre Dame's got to be cool. Standing there on the sideline, looking up at the crowd, hearing the national anthem play. What do you envision Game 1 in the Italian Football League in Torino to be like for you? Can you kind of dream a little bit and put that into words for us?
Yeah, it's hard to say. They have fans. I mean, it's not nearly going to be as big a stage as Notre Dame Stadium or the national championship, but football is football, as many of these players who are listening know. You love it, even during a scrimmage in practice. You take it as serious as a game because it's so much fun to play. That and when I envision it just having a lot of fun trying to tackle. But that was always my favorite thing, is getting a really nice tackle. That was always my favorite thing to do in football. So I'm envisioning those tackles and just having a big smile on my face doing it.
Well, you're a special teams specialist, as they say at Notre Dame. You're not. You got to be a little crazy, as I said earlier, to do that. So I can imagine you're going to deliver some American blows there on the Italian football field.
That's
Chris.
Right.
Have a safe trip. Have a great time over there. We will definitely get you back on the show here once you've played over there. Who knows? Since you got the cell phone, maybe I'll just have you call us and you can pay for the call. And we'll update everybody every week on what's going on with the Torino Jaguars. But best of luck, and it's been a pleasure. And I can tell just by talking to you why you've had that success since graduating as that 0-star player. You've got a passion beyond belief. So congratulations on success and continued success.
Jeff, thanks a lot for having me on. I had a lot of fun.
Again, that's Chris Salvi. We taped that interview about a week ago. He is officially in Italy playing for the Torino Jaguars, and he's already written me saying that the first day of practice last Sunday was a lot of fun, and we're going to keep up with him throughout the season. He's going to blog on highschoolfootballamerica.com. Just one of those neat stories, again, where, it's the day after National Letter of Intent signing day, and we're looking at guys that didn't get the 5 and 4 stars but did big things. When we come back, we're going to talk to a young man who was homeless at one point. He was not highly recruited. He's now a head coach in high school football at the age of 26 after playing in the NFL and CFL. Brennan Marion's story when we come back. You're listening to High School Football America. Time now to talk about the Debris Inhibitor Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, here on High School Football America. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing fields out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and also out of locker rooms. It's favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made of 70% nylon and 30% spandex material, making it extra lightweight and very durable. Plus, it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping the shoelaces tight. It is fully customizable, machine washable, and most important, easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is available in black, white, and pink. Other colors may be special ordered, and sizes are there from the youth level all the way up to that big foot. The shoe size 14 to 17. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC player Carl Hoppy Langley III and 3 partners, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, a patented design, and proven innovation. To learn more, go to tdirazor.com. Remember, the razor is spelled R-A-Z-U-R, and look for a special code at High School Football America so you can get a discount on your order of the Debris Inhibitor Razor. Having a lot of fun here on the show tonight, day after National Letter of Intent Signing Day. All the big guys getting their college scholarships. Tonight, though, we're talking about guys that had to fight, overcome some odds. We just spoke with Chris Salvi, the guy that was the real-life Rudy guy when it came to special teams at Notre Dame. And now it's time to go to the middle part of Pennsylvania, my neck of the woods, back there in the Keystone State, and a young man who has had to overcome a lot. He was not highly recruited out of Greensburg-Salem High School, fought his way into some junior colleges and played so well that he was able to make it to Tulsa on a scholarship where we will talk about some of the records he set there. But in between all of that, a rough life, an upbringing that moved him from school to school. He was homeless at one point while he was in college. His grandmother said, make a promise to me. Make something out of yourself. And last year he became the head coach at St. Patrick St. Vincent in Northern California at the young age of 25 years old. He has now taken the head coaching position at Waynesboro, a team that did not win a game last year. But Brennan Marion is a guy that's been able to overcome odds, and he's met a lot of great people that have helped him along the way. And Coach Marion is on the line right now to talk about his new job as the head coach of Waynesboro. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Hey, Jeff, thanks. Appreciate you having me on.
Well, we're excited, and I love it when I see, numbers like 26 years old come up. We've had some other guys that have been very young. You're one of the youngest in the country whenever you're in that 25, 26 era. You were head coach last year out here in California, St. Patrick St. Vincent High School, and so you know what it takes. But let's go with the beginning. You got California, beautiful weather, and now you're in snow in Pennsylvania. What made you make the jump from one to the other?
Where I was at in California, we had a lot of success. Actually, I have one of the top recruits in the country this year, Jalen Cantu, who played for me last year. Being at a small Catholic private school, there's nothing like football in the state of Pennsylvania. To get a Quad A program at the age of 26, I just couldn't turn down that type of opportunity.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Brennan Marion on the line, and I mentioned at the top here, you've had a lot of things in your life happen, and one of the things that I found most interesting, which I think is probably a good place to kind of jump off at here, from your high school career, then your college career at Tulsa, and then the NFL and CFL, is you made a promise to your grandmother, I read, and I don't want to kind of steal your thunder, but I would love to kind of have you fill in the blanks there. What promise did you make to your grandmother, and where did that all come from?
When I was a sophomore in high school, I was on the verge of dropping out of high school. I went to probably from 6th grade to through my senior year. I went to eight or nine different schools and moved around a lot with my mom, and a lot of Section 8 areas in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And my grandma was diagnosed with brain cancer my sophomore year of high school, and she told me, while she was sick in the hospital, just promise me you'll make something of your life. And I promised her that I would, and ever since that day, before she passed, I just would make sure that I fulfilled that promise to her. So, my grades turned around, my athletics turned around. And I was able to just start doing things that I didn't do before in the past, before I made that promise to her.
Did you think you had that in you? I mean, obviously, in those situations, and again, our condolences to you on your grandmother passing. But, at that time, you got that fork in the road, right? The one you're going down and the one that you can turn off on. I mean, what was it in you that led you to say to yourself, you know what, I can do this. I don't have to keep going down this road I was going down.
Well, as a kid, I don't like to talk about myself too much, but I was a great player as a young kid, and I had great academics and was in honors classes from 1st to 5th grade. I never lost a game in football. We won the championship every year, and I was always the MVP of the team and things like that. So I knew that I could be great. What happened, I just started moving a lot, and a lot of things started transitioning and changing in my life. As a kid, I had a great routine from 1st to 5th grade. I had a routine every day that I did. And, when that routine gets switched up and you start seeing people, in drug-stricken communities and, things going on around you that didn't happen before, you start to question the values and morals that you grew up with. So When she passed, I knew that I had greatness in me already. I just had to turn that switch back on that I turned off, being in those bad areas that I was in. So, it was just about turning the switch back on and making something of myself to make her proud.
Well, I know most coaches don't like talking about themselves, but you have a very powerful message here, so I'm just glad that you can share it with us, and we'll kind of meld it all together here with the new head man at Waynesboro High School in Pennsylvania. His name is Brennan Marion, talking about some of the things that happened to him in his life that maybe he didn't have going in the right direction, but kids that are out there listening right now, it's never too late to get working on that. So let's now kind of turn to the football side of things, and you've got all these life experiences. You're a young guy, and we've had a couple of others on young like you. Tell me about how much easier or harder it is to go into a locker room as the head coach of a high school football team, kind of almost 8 years later than most of the guys you're coaching?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually, I've been very blessed to play for a lot of great coaches. I mean, in junior college, my junior college coach, he's now the head coach of Sacramento State. My Tulsa coaches, one's the D coordinator at West Virginia, one's the head coach at Auburn, one's the head coach at Arizona State. I got to be around Bill Parcells when I was with the Dolphins. In Canada, I got to be around Mark Trestman, who's the head coach of the Bears. So I've been blessed throughout my playing career to play for a lot of great coaches who, like Gus Malzahn at Auburn, for example, he's my main reference. We talk once a week. Anything I need help with offensively, he helps me with. Being around guys like that and having connections like that, the young guys really respect me to be my age and have all the life experiences that I have. So when I come into a locker room, I mean, kids do whatever I tell them. I always tell them, I've been the athlete who's been kicked off the team. I've been on billboards. I've been ESPN First Take, been an All-American, been All-State, and I've actually sat the bench too, and I've been the player who wasn't that good yet. So I've been every aspect as a player. So I get a lot out of my players just because they respect the grind that I had to go to get where I'm at right now.
Oh, that's an awesome story to tell. Talking with Brennan Marion tonight, the head coach at Waynesboro Area Senior High School in central Pennsylvania is the best way. It's heading down there toward the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. And because you've had so many great coaches in your life, tell me, it's almost like you can probably take a little bit from each. So who is Brennan Marion, the head coach, after meeting all these great people and having so many great people in your life?
I think you still have to stay true to yourself. I give the kids a lot of the work ethic that I had as a player. But I love, taking bits and pieces of coaches the coaches that I had. I love something that Coach Sperano always said to us on the Dolphins. It's about the right player, not the best player, because I feel the great teams win with the right players, not necessarily the best athletes don't necessarily win you the championship. It's the right player. So I take little sprinkles of everything that the coaches that I had, I run a little bit of Gus Malzahn's offense with my own offense that I've created. The fast-paced no huddle, and a lot of the jet sweep stuff, and wing tee stuff that goes along with that offense out of shotgun. So I take little bits and pieces of everything that those guys have gave me, and make it unique in my own way. So you got to really stay true to yourself as a coach, or you'll lose respect of your players. Even though coaching's a copycat type of system, I like to stay true to myself, So I feel that it's great that players get a little bit of knowing and knowledge of the coaches that I've had, but they also get, what I bring to the table as well.
It's interesting. What a background. We're talking with Brennan Marion tonight, the head coach at Waynesboro High School. Mentioned at the top, a tough year last year for the program. No wins, an 0-2 mark. But I noticed in one of the local papers that wrote about your hire that you had the kids in the weight room pretty quickly and some good numbers. So tell us what you're working with right now from a standpoint of numbers and making the kids remember that 2013 is done and 2014 is the only thing you should care about.
When I came in the first day, I told them, last year doesn't matter. I worked with the program last year in California. It was my first head coaching job. They were coming off the hazing scandal, 1-9, and we were able to turn around and go to the playoffs and average 400 yards of offense and be top in California in sacks. So that last year stuff doesn't really matter to me. You know, as a player, I've been on teams that were awful. Then the next year we go to a bowl game and things like that. So, you know, I told the guys, you know, there's no secret to it. I mean, there's greatness in all of us. You know, we all have the ability to be great. You know, God put that within all of us. So, you know, last year's over with. We start the first day that I started there last Thursday, you know, because all the snow delays and snow days. We started last Thursday. I had 40, 50 guys show up for the first meeting. We went straight to the weight room, straight to running. Friday, same thing. Saturday, woke them up at 5:50 a.m., had 30 guys stay from 5:50 to 9:30, working hard. And I feel like that's just the key to it. I mean, creating a habit and you know, doing quality work and doing it right. So, you know, these guys are excited. These guys are fired up. These kids want to win. You know, no one gets into sports to lose. You know, all these kids actually came from a really successful Little League program that they have around here in Waynesboro. So these kids know what it feels like to win. You know, I think they just didn't have the right leadership in the past. So I have some good, talented kids. So we'll be able to get things rolling in the right direction, just get these kids back to a disciplined work habit. And all these guys are fired up. You know, I see smiles on their faces. I don't see any negative, you know, things like that. And I've got a lot more guys that, you know, didn't play before, you know, with the previous regime that to come back out and play again. So we have 50 guys right now. And then, you know, basketball and baseball and track and stuff is going on right now. So I think I'll have about 40 more guys come out after that than with the incoming freshmen. We probably have a 100 to 120 team program.
That is a solid number to work with. Brennan Marion on the line, the new head coach at Waynesboro High School in Pennsylvania, a guy that's played in the NFL, the CFL, and if you're just tuning in, has a deep bench of coaches that he's played for to work with. And let's talk about the other aspect. Everybody knows, you know, it comes down to the players, but you're a young guy building a staff. So do you have some holdovers from last year? Do you have a little bit of a mix? Or are you out there kind of creating your own staff, and what's that like?
I'm creating a group of guys that I played high school with out here in Pennsylvania, guys that have went Division I, had got Division I scholarships. We're working on getting them in the building now. You know, they have their teacher credential. So I didn't retain anyone from my California staff. I would have liked to, but, you know, it's hard to get guys to leave California that never seen Pennsylvania before. So I got some great guys that I played with in Pennsylvania that are here, and looking forward to being on the staff. And, you know, I'm looking to get a few local guys from this Little League program to start working with the freshman and middle school programs to get, you know, those athletes from the Little League programs matriculating up to the high school. So, you know, you gotta have a few local guys. You can't just, you know, abandon the local aspect of it. I want to definitely be a factor in the community and get all these guys that are in the community to play for me. So, you know, I want to make sure, you know, I still let the community be a part of their high school program.
Talking with Brennan Marion tonight, new head coach at Waynesboro High School here on High School Football America. A young man at 26 years old, has done a lot, as we said. It's kind of, you know, living out the dream here, but also fulfilling that promise to your grandmother. Let's talk about some goals for this year. I know it may be a little young. I noticed in your signature on your email, you got a 14-0 there and a trip to Hershey. And for those of you that don't know what Hershey is in Pennsylvania, that's where the state championships are played. So what are the goals that you've set for this team this year?
To me, I mean, anything short of playoffs or getting to a championship is a failing year. Like I said, last year I was able to take 19 guys to the playoffs. We were unsuccessful in the playoffs and winning, but we were able to get there with only 19 players. So I feel like with a program like ours, we can definitely get to that playoffs. I'd like to make a run, you know, far into the playoffs. And like I tell everybody, you don't get into sports to lose. I mean, my goal is to win every game. You know, I never would go into a game saying, oh, I want to be even, I want to be tied, I want to be 500. You know, so my goal right now is to do everything possible to win every game next year, next season. And, you know, could be, you know, from the state of Pennsylvania, every kid's dream is to go to Hershey, you know, and play the state championship game. So I always tell the kids, we got Hershey dreams, you know, so the kids are buying into that. A lot of their Twitter feeds say they got Hershey dreams. So I love the buy-in that I have from the kids already with only 3 days of working with them. And, you know, the community's great and supportive in me. The administration is great and supportive in me as well. You know, being a young guy, I was worried about what the administration and community would feel like, but they've really embraced me coming here and working with their kids and young men. So it's definitely a great atmosphere around here. And, you know, our goals are, I got big goals and big ideas. You know, I want to, you know, get these guys to a state championship within the next 5 years. So that's really my plan.
Yeah, for people that aren't from Pennsylvania, it's a great tradition when it doesn't matter because the basketball is also played in Hershey. The raining of Hershey kisses down onto the field or onto the court after getting that trip is always something special. We're talking with Brennan Marion tonight, new head coach at Waynesboro High School in central Pennsylvania, outside of we call it outside of Harrisburg, and I'm not Rand McNally, but that's close enough for people that know the state of Pennsylvania. You mentioned at the top you don't like to talk about yourself. I want to read a couple of things here about your career. As I mentioned, you know, Dolphins, CFL with the Alouettes, right? You were there with Montreal, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then back-to-back first-team All-Conference USA honors in 2007, 2008. Conference USA Newcomer of the Year 2007. This is back in his college days. Set an NCAA record for yards per catch, 31.9 yards per game in per catch in 2007. Conference USA record holder for yards per catch. Chosen as a team captain 3 years in a row. Those are some really great things, and let's bring it back to where we started, which was fulfilling that promise to your grandmother. As you reflect on hearing those things that you've accomplished, and now you're setting out on another accomplishment here, what would your grandmother say if she was able to be in front of you right now and say, "Boy, man, you kept to your word"? What do you think she'd say to you?
She'd just tell me, you know, to be humble about it and to continue to be hungry. I always tell people, you know, you gotta stay hungry, and you gotta stay, you know, every year it's a new year to make some new records and set some new awards and goals for yourself. So I feel like this year, you know, nothing I did last year or the years before mattered. It's time to set some new high marks and plateaus and goals, and I do that every year. So I reset every year and try to do, you know, the best that I possibly can for that year.
Well, I've only had a chance to kind of research you a little bit since you got hired, but I'm impressed with what I've read, and now impressed with what I hear. We wish you nothing but success in Waynesboro, and I have no doubt that the way you're going to put your mind to things, that goal of a state championship in 5 years is probably well within your grasp. So, Brennan, thanks for talking to us tonight, and good luck in 2014.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
You're very welcome. Taking a break, coming back with more. This is High School Football America. Time now to talk about the Debris Inhibitor Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, here on High School Football America. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing fields out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and also out of locker rooms. It's favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made of 70% nylon and 30% spandex material, making it extra lightweight and very durable. Plus, it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping the shoelaces tight. It is fully customizable, machine washable, and most important, easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is available in black, white, and pink. Other colors may be special ordered, and sizes are there from the youth level all the way up to that Bigfoot. You know, the shoe size 14 to 17. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC player Carl Hoppy Langley III and 3 partners, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, a patented design, and proven innovation. To learn more, go to tdirazor.com. Remember, the razor is spelled R-A-Z-U-R, and look for a special code at High School Football America so you can get a discount on your order of the Debris Inhibitor Razor. That's going to do it for tonight's show. I want to thank our partners here that make it possible. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, TDI Razor, the debris inhibitor razor. Learn more at tdirazor.com. Razor spelled R-A-Z-U-R. Keep those pesky field turf crumbs out of your shoes. Brought to you tonight by the Maxwell Football Club. Attend their gala by getting tickets at maxwellfootballclub.org and by WebLeats. Go to webleats.com to get your free student-athlete profile. Really enjoyed this show tonight. Again, congratulations to each and every one that signed a letter of intent yesterday. Congratulations on your scholarships. If you still are going to make some decisions at those lower levels, D2 and D3, make sure you put education first. Congratulations again to the parents, the family that make it all possible, along with the coaches. Those student athletes can't do it alone. And what a fun show tonight as we go the opposite of the 5 stars. We go to a guy, Chris Salvi, who was a 0 star in his words and walked on at Notre Dame and now is playing professional football in Italy. We'll hear more from Chris throughout his time over there in Torino as he'll blog at highschoolfootballamerica.com. And how about Brennan Marion, homeless at one point, just overcoming all kinds of odds, not a big recruit, goes to Tulsa, sets NCAA records. All kinds of cool stuff comes out of his life, and he's met a lot of people along the way that have shaped him, where at 26 years young, he is capable of being a head football coach, second year, second team, and we wish him great success at Waynesboro High School in Pennsylvania. I want to thank Corey King back in Ohio for keeping the show right on track. For now, this is Jeff Fisher saying good night and good sports from sunny Southern California. Sorry to all you people that are sitting there in the cold and the snow, but it's fun out here. Join us again next week on High School Football America on the Artist First Radio Network.